That's my baby. That's my baby. That's my baby. That's my baby.
We're going at it at 110%.
That's my baby. That's my baby.
We're going at it at 110%.
I just want 5 minutes of happiness, please. Just give me 5 minutes.
And they scored! They did it!
Left, feet left.
What the hell was that?
Oh, yeah!
What the fuck are you talking about?
All right, that's typical of what this week's going to be like. What is up, fam? We are back. Another episode of the Weekly Roundup. I'm your host, as always, Steve Rochelle, being joined by my favorite degenerate, this freaking guy over here, Captain Shaggy himself, Mr. Zach Burr. What's up, brother? What is up?
We heard the opening. What the fuck are you talking about, Steven? What the fuck are you doing over there? What's going on? What are we doing?
I don't know. Like I said, this is just typical of what this week is. But we got a fun one lined up for you guys tonight. We're gonna have some fun. Obviously, UFC Fight Night's going on right now. We're gonna talk a little bit about that. Zach's got some things to let off his chest about these Phillies going on. Obviously, they're playing the Sox right now. So nothing. Top of the third. We're gonna be talking a little Phillies baseball. We're gonna be joined by PFL Pro Fight League fighter Miss Brittney. Elkin's going to join us. She's going to be welcoming Olympic medalist and world boxing champion Clarissa Shields to MMA, to PFL June 10th. So we're going to talk to her as she's wrapping up her training camp. We're gonna talk some Sixers, and we got some Eagles stuff to talk about. I want to get everyone's thoughts on Mr. DeSean Jackson's legacy here in Philadelphia. I've been seeing a lot of people sitting there saying he's the greatest deep threat of all time. We're going to weigh in on that, but real quick before we get that, Zach, do you want to get to this?
Yeah, well, we're always brought to you here, right? The Weekly Roundup on a2dradio.com, brought to you by eXp Realty. And if you're looking to buy or sell a home, looking for a changing career or brokerage, you contact Alan Foy of eXp Realty, LLC, 302-682-8820. Or you can visit him at alan.foy@exprealty.com. He won't lead you wrong. We talk about the best in the business constantly here at A2D, and I'm going to start hyping my man. He's the best in the business at what he does. He's young. He's hungry. He's a go-getter. A lot like us here. Right, at A2D, right? That's kind of us. We're go-getters like that, and the competitive drive of all of it. We just want to succeed so bad, and that's him too. So I'm so excited we've got him on board with us here at A2D, Steve.
And that poll question is brought to you by Expo Realty, and the poll question is the DeSean Jackson is not the greatest deep threat in NFL history. Agree to disagree, fam? Let's weigh in with your thoughts and questions on it. Reason I came across it during this week. Obviously, his time here in Philadelphia has expired. He's now a Ram. We'll see how he does that out there. And the question that now is he? I would have to say, without a shadow of doubt, in my opinion, he's probably the most exciting wide receiver in the last decade. Most explosive. Obviously you can see that, with his, his plus 50-yard TD receptions, obviously. But I mean, the best that we've seen in the NFL, that might still be up for debate. I want to see what everyone's weighing in on that. Obviously we got, the fams up in the chat here. We got Jay's up in the house.
I'll tell you what, Steven,
What's up,
sorry,
brother?
I've got to cut in here. Okay.
I know you're going to cut in. I know you got a lot of things to get off your chest.
Because
today,
I actually know quite a few people that think that highly of DeSean Jackson. I'm trying to get good lighting here so people can see my face and they can see and understand, where I'm coming from here, right? Because you want to, the most. Okay. First of all, you said he might be the most exciting player in the past 10 years. That's a ridiculous statement too. But that could be your opinion.
I said wide receiver. Get that straight.
Oh, a wide receiver. That's still ridiculous. But I'll let you get away with it. You can have that opinion for right now, Mr. Michael. Okay, because I'm more.
What's that? We can agree to disagree on that, but I still don't think there's really much to argue on that one. We can sit there and
Yeah, that was not even worth having a debate
argue
about.
here is the deep threat thing, and a lot of people are throwing that. NFL history was my issue with it. The wording of it
NFL history. Okay, because I'll tell you what, there's players in this city that for whatever reason, and we know this, right? As a fan base, we always love those guys, and we think way too much of them. And DeSean Jackson is a guy that we have thought way too much of as a football player in this city for way too damn long. Okay, like really, the best deep threat in NFL history. He might be one of the most overrated wide receivers in the history of this franchise when it comes to this fan base, and we want to throw stuff out here like and I know where you're coming from. This wasn't a question that you created based off of just coming out of your own head. It was inspired by a real life conversation. And trust me, I know plenty of people too that would, answer to, this question with, yes, they do think that, he's the greatest deep threat in NFL history because they're just that much, they love DeSean Jackson that much. I'm more interested in the amount of people that are going to answer yes to this question than I am the people who are going to say no, because I know there's going to be a lot of people who are like, yeah, this is stupid. I really want the people that like to expose themselves tonight. All right. Everybody out there listening, expose yourself. Where are you at? All you idiots that actually are going to say yes to this question. I want to see. I'm intrigued because I know there's going to be a lot more of them than there should be, and it's just going to be very upsetting by the end of this show, Stephen. I think we're going to like quite a few people a lot less by the end of this show.
I don't know. We'll see. I think
sports opinions.
I think most people's love affair with DeSean has long worn off. I'm still a staunch supporter, but I still don't think that that again. I believe that's an overassessment. Again, probably the more dangerous deep threat of the past decade was probably more like it. I would. All time NFL history. Get out of here. Did we miss like the Randy Moss era? Did I miss that one? Was that like erased from NFL sports fans history or something? Did I miss that one? Because I remember that guy burnt more than a few people on a consistent basis, and it was over the top more than anything.
Yeah, and people will point to DeSean's 50+ yard touchdowns and stuff like that, which that's all. Those numbers are all great, right? But you look at a guy as I switch my camera over here, Steven, so I can actually get better lighting. I think this
can we sit there and say Tyreek Hill's kind of in that same milk?
Except Tyreek Hill is like a better receiver than DeSean Jackson.
I was going to say more well-rounded than DeSean. He can get that.
Sure. That was DeSean's spot. This idea. Okay, so it's qualified, right? I agree. He was a great deep threat.
Daily. And absolutely, Trish. You know what it is. We all love him. He's done, but I think what we're kind of trying to really get at people right now is kind of, what's the legacy at this point in time? What's
right. And for me, this is what we do when somebody's great. He was a great deep threat. And then people try to elevate it even more than that and be like, well, no.
But also, he's also getting the love outside of Philadelphia. And I think that's why this became a topic of question, because, he does get love around the league for being that. A lot of some of the guys that are coming up now are, we're fans of this guy. I'm sure Tyreek Hill, one of the things that yeah, I just seen that too. I was troubled, and he
Harper almost got it too.
Yeah, he did almost get that. You're at a few seconds behind, man.
No way. They called him save.
Yeah,
you missed the tag.
Mm-hmm. I know.
Jesus Christ. Yeah. So we can't even tag people now. Oh my God.
We're gonna circle back to DeSean in a second, because I know you got some things to get off your chest about this Phillies team. Obviously, when we left the fam last week, you were hopped in there a little bit early last week, so we can get you out of there, so you and Big Greg over there can enjoy the game. Did not turn out exactly how you want. That road trip did not turn out how you want. This past week has been utterly putrid. And this game didn't start off too great. They just put us in some trouble here, and we'll see how Spencer Howard responds here. He's already at 49 pitches, 50
so
now.
Far, I can't believe Brad Miller can't even tag a guy. He literally let the dude slide around his tag. Like, good fucking God.
What's up, Jake?
So far, we all just watched Bryce Harper fall on his face, right? Like, that's pretty much been the equivalent of the Philly season right now. Like that right there, if you could freeze frame somebody at A2D, Brodo, I know you might be listening. Okay, somebody do it. Freeze frame the moment of Harper smacking his face on the ground there as the ball's laying there between his face and because that moment that we just saw.
Let's be honest. Let's be honest.
It's falling flat on its face.
Let's be honest, Ryan. It is way beyond just bullpen arm help. They need more than that.
Your defense can't catch a ball, bro. We can't play defense. Alec Boehm can't play third base. That's why he's not in the lineup tonight. The dude he can't field a ground ball or make a throw across the diamond. The rest of the infield can't catch a pop-up. Like I literally, the game Steven's talking about last Saturday night, right? I watched the ball fall between our center fielder, a second baseman, and the shortstop. It's literally like I've seen 13-year-olds in the 13U tournament today. I just worked that catch that ball, and we can't catch simple pop-ups and shit. I watched Alec Boehm make 2 errors in that game because he can't make a simple throw across the diamond and get a guy at first base, and then he boots a ground ball just off to his left. And then he had 2 more errors last night. It's just so ridiculous to watch a team. It's one thing to lose. It's another thing, as Joe Girardi, kind of has been talking about it. Like we can't even catch the ball. Like, it's the simplest of fucking things that forget about winning baseball games. Like, we suck right now. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, this is not the stuff that even average baseball teams do. Like, you got to play good defense in the big leagues. You can't give away extra outs.
This is also why I was trying to tell you when we were going through those predictions earlier in the season. Why I told you this is a wild card team at best, guys. We still have a lot of inconsistencies, both on the defensive side and the offensive side.
Tommy's agreeing to the poll that DeSean Jackson's the greatest deep threat in NFL history.
I said he's not. He's not. Remember the wording. He is not.
That he is not. Okay.
He is not.
I want to make. Okay, yeah. That's why I don't.
We have to clarify that one. So hold on. Let's see. Yeah.
DeSean Jackson is not the NFL's greatest. Okay. Yes. Okay. Woo. Tommy, you were scaring me for a moment. I thought you were just trying to trigger me. I thought he's like Zach's fired up.
No, in reality, NFL veteran, whatever, current NFL player, I don't think that's a fair assessment to call him the greatest deep threat in the NFL history. Again, I would probably I go back to my assessment of the most electrifying wide receiver of that era. And you want to argue that one, so let's argue that one. Who would you consider more electrifying in the last 10 years?
I mean, you want me to make a list? I mean, Tyreek Hill's playing at the moment, and he's way more exciting than DeSean ever was because he can do everything. Like, he can literally do anything on at the receiver position on the football field.
But he still has what? He's only what 5 years in, 6 years in.
Yeah, I mean, and did DeSean even have I don't even think DeSean ever had.
We're trying to at least get guys who've been in the league in that same time frame. All right, okay. Ryan's going to go Antonio Brown.
What is your definition
of
Antonio
Brown wasn't the deep threat. He was more like in that TO build where he could beat you deep. He can hit you with the intermediate stuff and all kinds of things like that. He was. He was exciting, but I would have to say in that extent, DeSean might be a little bit more electrifying, while Brown is clearly the better receiver and the more rounded one.
You'll count Randy Moss as a deep threat, even though Randy Moss is also a.
But I think that he's the one that should be giving that title. That's the way I bring up.
And I don't disagree with that, but I'm trying to gauge what you're saying, because obviously you don't just have to be a one-trick pony, right? Like, you don't just have to be a deep threat. You can be other things because Randy Moss is other things.
But AB clearly wasn't the better deep threat than DeSean. That's all I'm saying.
But you think Randy Moss was clearly a better deep threat.
I mean, I do. Okay. I do.
Okay, no, not now. I see where you're going.
You
with
go,
that.
you go,
I mean, I
you go-
agree, and I think I could make a list of plenty of receivers that
Now
you
Fitz
know.
was more possession receiver. He's not the deep threat, Brian.
Well, you said
So,
exciting at first. You said the most exciting receiver.
Ryan's coming up. He's got AB. You know, Wheeler's in here again. He is not. We showed now. Here's an interesting one. Odell Beckham. There's a conversation we can have an argument about.
I mean,
but
Odell Beckham's more exciting just because
he was more of a game breaker. He gets
in a fight with the kicking net and shit on the sideline. Like that's
he was more the game breaker though. Like he was the guy like your X factor when you get in the crunch times, like where you can get a play out of him. DeSean was more like if you knew you needed that deep six, he was going to get that for you. So you can make that comparison where Odell is definitely one you can make the argument. But I go where you're saying like his thing is. Just along with AB, is he? When you're talking the legacy in that period of time, is he more known for the off-field stuff? Just like we can make the same argument with DeSean. Is he more known for some of his things, his problems, and the injuries? We can break all these guys down in that one. But again, Fitz, we can't put in that conversation. Ryan, come on, brother.
But Steven, this is why I want you to be careful because before you said deep threat, you had said the most electric or the most exciting receiver of the past decade. So how do you qualify exciting?
I would have to say he's probably the most. Larry Fitzgerald was probably the most consistent. Period. I remember when he came out of Pitt. I knew we couldn't get it was some guy you just would have wished they would have ever grabbed because that would have changed a lot of things, in my opinion.
He's damn exciting whenever he's played the Eagles throughout his career. So he's been damn exciting.
Mark's in here. We're a good one. Mark's in here. We're a good one. Julio. But again, we're talking guys that are completely total packages too.
Yeah, I mean, again, that's.
We're talking unfair comparisons for DeSean at this point.
I mean. I don't know. Let's come up with some names from the '90s of guys like Andre Rison was a guy that was super exciting and was considered a deep threat, right? Like wasn't Andre Rison kind of that over the top guy? Yeah. And you looked at and you're like, hey, he's exciting, and he's exciting in both ways, on the field, off the field. You never know what you're gonna get, type of thing.
Bryce is in the house. He says Jackson.
Yeah, and see maybe that if you were to say he's like a top 5, okay, like maybe we
if someone would when this conversation
GOAT, it just drives you crazy.
When this conversation is being had, if you're telling me he's probably one of the top 5 deep threats of all time, I would absolutely agree with you without a shadow of a doubt. And Ryan's coming in here with another good one. Larry Fitzgerald absolutely used to kill one. You got Steve Smith Jr. Steve Smith Jr. Steve Smith. Not only electrifying, he was an absolute deep threat, but he was again one of those guys they used to just get those 10, 15-yard things on the edge, get you over the top, but not really. It wasn't the deep threat. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, Steve Smith. I mean, probably you talk about the complete package. Like he's one of the smallest receivers that you would ever put in that category as far as guys that could do everything, right? And beat you in all these different ways. But yeah, I mean, he's another guy that, of course, he beat you over the top, and he was, for me, that's a perfect example of a guy that, you want to talk about the most, exciting players. He was always exciting. Steve Smith was always exciting to watch, and DeSean Jackson couldn't hold Steve Smith's jockstrap, in my opinion. I think people make way too much of DeSean because I think DeSean was a one-trick pony. I think that's the difference between all these guys we're talking about and what DeSean does is DeSean only.
And you're talking about
electric and
now you're talking about old school guys, and I'm thinking about a guy you're sitting there saying the '90s, what about those Bills teams with Andre Reed and James Lofton? I think Lofton was probably more the over the top guy, but
sure, I mean you've got examples of
guys throughout all
And the guy we haven't
generations
mentioned who was already here was T.O. And again, probably the bit more well-rounded, but again.
Yeah, for me, T.O. was always a guy that was trying to bully you. But I mean, but early in his career, you want to talk about like guys like Jerry Rice is obviously the greatest receiver of all time. But I mean, Jerry could beat anybody over the top, like in the first 8 to 10 years of his career there. Like you weren't going to stay with it. If he wanted to beat you deep,
I remember the battles with him and Deion were
amazing.
amazing. Right? The battles with him and Deion Sanders were amazing.
Yeah, and part of the reason they brought in Deion, right? Like, all right, like now he's okay. Now you don't got to worry about it no more. He's now he's here, right? Like if Deion can't cover you,
now here's another one from Mark. Now Roddy was a good deep threat, but he wasn't good enough during what we're saying is within that time frame, within the last 10 years. But we want at least guys that have played 10 years when we're having this conversation.
How about a guy like Keenan Mccardell who played like for 3 decades? It seemed like.
Yeah,
I think the dude did play like 19 years, but like that was in his prime. He was that guy for Jacksonville, right? Jimmy Smith was the guy that was the possession guy, and Keenan McCardell was the over the top guy, and hell, he did that for a bunch of other teams too. How about Joey Galloway's another guy that I don't think people mentioned, and another '90s guy there that like he was a guy like that for better part of a decade there, right? That very exciting player to watch. Unfortunately, he spent some time in some cities with some teams where you're like, yeah, they're really ever on national TV, but still, like anybody that followed the sport knew how electric and how exciting he was, how much of a deep threat he was. I mean, they're all, and like this is what my point with DeSean. Like DeSean was a great deep threat, but like I think people like these people that you're talking about were like they overrank him to the point where they're like, oh, how could you say that a guy like that could be in the same conversation? Like they're all in that same conversation. They really are.
I mean,
like, all of those guys.
Now the one you have to put in there, but he cut his own career short was Megatron. Calvin Johnson. Arguably, that's still the one that you would say is where not only was the full package, but was probably a better deep threat too.
Yeah, I mean, the Calvin Johnson was the first guy that came to before you changed it to deep threat. When you just said like the most exciting or the most electric, I was like, it's Megatron. I mean, the guy's got the nickname Megatron for a reason, right? Like, he has to be the guy that like I think comes to mind when you talk about like. And again, speaking of a guy that
now this is what I'm saying. Again, we have to say he is not the greatest, as much as Eagles fans want to say, as much as some of his peers around the NFL might want to say.
Oh, I wish his cousin was here.
He's either 3 or 4. Let's be honest, he's either 3 or 4. Correct?
Yeah, I mean, it might be fair to say he's a top 5 guy in that category.
Yeah,
sure,
he's inside the top 5 in my opinion.
But I mean, I think you could debate that too. But like, that's like, I'm with you. I think like he's 4 or 5 somewhere in that area. But you could still debate that. But like, I don't even think it's
who was terrible with the Pats during at the end of his career. Or what, Moss? Come on, Pats fan.
I don't know who he's talking about.
Well, I mean, we're talking about wide receivers, so I mean, that's the only one I can think of.
Yeah.
Yes, maybe Sean got hurt often. DK hasn't gotten the time in.
Yeah, the DK wouldn't be a guy that would be in that conversation yet.
Oh, Calvin should have sat a year out. Make them pay him or not pay him.
Just literally pop up a fucking right down the middle fastball. Like, gee, like to like, I don't know, 6 rows back in the fucking seats. Good Lord, like. This dude is
he's still just he's a top 5 of being a deep threat, period. That's it. He's not the greatest. He's not number 2. He's inside the top 5. That is where DeSean stays. I mean, unfortunately, again, it's one of these things where something we get used to Philadelphia with both our sports teams and our athletes. It's just unfulfilled potential. And that's kind of what, unfortunately, where I have to put him. Love him. Absolutely exciting. Did gave us some amazing moments here in Philadelphia, but
sure. So did
absolutely Bryce, Randy, and T.O. are in the top 5. Ty Hilton, no.
T.Y. Hilton, I thought of his name, but yeah, I'm with you. I don't think he's a guy that's in that conversation for me. No.
Got you. He was just saying that he was at that point in time, but I mean. The last few years with the Pats, he might have been terrible, but
I mean,
dude,
how about a guy like Santana
him and Tom
Moss?
broke records their first year. So can you really get mad at a couple years of inconsistencies?
Speaking of guys who played in cities where their careers went to die, Santana Moss. I mean, remember when he played at fucking University of Miami?
Oh man, that was
guy.
another
Like,
one,
that
man.
was, like, he was that guy. You know what I mean? Like,
He was the
big time players make big time plays in big time games, Steven. That's what they do. That was that's Santana Moss. Like, you almost got like he was DeSean Jackson before DeSean Jackson. Marvin was a finesse guy. Marvin beat you with footwork. Marvin beat you with his route running. Marvin beat you with his very elite awareness on the sidelines, his ability to make sideline catches and get his feet in and contort his bodies and different. You know, he was a magician. I wouldn't put him in that deep. You know, that's. I don't know. I don't think I always thought of Marvin Harrison as a complete receiver. You know what I mean? Never once did I ever think of a guy as.
And then when you go even more old school, I mean, obviously we gotta talk about, you know, some of the old time greats. You know, Lance Arwolf was one of them guys.
Sure.
So he probably, like, if you look at your top five, it probably has to be what, Randy, T.O., Moss, DeSean. And then I would go Allworth, that's my top five.
I mean, so let's think of some of those teams, right? Like you got, you know, like the Cowboys dynasties. Yeah, they had guys like Drew Pearson, right? They had guys like Michael Irvin later. Was Drew
Irvin was, again, you know, the playmaker was absolutely that. The playmaker, he was, you know, he's another one of those guys that absolutely murders. Ryan wants to hop right into some. You know what? You know, we can talk a little Sixers. I know you still want to unleash your Philly story, but you want to talk some Sixers, man? Let me get your thoughts on it. You know, after the play-in, they called and said we want Philadelphia, the Wizards faithful. Well, careful what you ask for. First off, secondly. What are you excited about this matchup with the Wizards, and what, if anything, scares you about it? You know, do you see it sweep 5? You know, do they win a couple? What do you see this?
Don't be overconfident going into it. You know,
and that's another good one, Dante Hall, but he was more of a punt return specialist. That's a punt return specialist, though.
Devin Hester's a guy I thought of, you know what I mean? And said,
again, but I thought of too. But again, I put both Dante and Devin Hester.
I think DeSean's better than Devin Hester. But you see what I'm saying with that? Like I really think some of the guys we mentioned are like all-time.
I don't know if you could say Westbrook isn't a winner, but I did definitely like the idea of having the fat guy ring the bell. For either the first or second home game, the one that got tossed for flipping him the bird. I thought that was a funny way to troll him, since they want to troll us.
He's too ball dominant, and come the playoffs, like, it's just something that seems to always hurt his team more than it helps them, is the fact that he's such a ball dominant player. Bradley Beal, you know, guys like that, you know, that he's trying to play with on that team, you know. I don't know. It's like, if he couldn't win with Durant, I'm kind of with TJ. Like, that's kind of my thing with that. Like, it's not that he's a loser, but he's just not a winner. You know what I mean? Like for me, a guy like Carmelo Anthony's a loser. Like, Carmelo Anthony, just like everywhere he's gone, he's just like,
you just love dumping on Melo, man.
You know,
what is up with your Melo hate? I got to get to the bottom of this.
He's a loser. Certain guys bring a certain toxicity to an environment, and I don't think they realize it. Everywhere Melo's been, he's had that effect on it. He went to New York with the Knicks. It all went to fucking hell. You know, it's in Denver. It all went to shit, because not that he wasn't a great player or a great scorer, he was. There just always seemed to be some sort of, you know, mental thing there with Melo that just kind of made you go like, what's going on with this guy? And I don't know, it just, everywhere he's ever been, like, he's been on a lot of really good teams and they don't win nothing. And Westbrook seems to be in that same, that same boat.
Now, Daniel, this is where I'm going to tell you where Zach's going to go completely. Okay, that's all fine, but what did he do as a pro? He was the #1 pick, and he's all-star. Did all these things. He could never find himself to put himself in a winning situation, whether it be by his own design, from his own personal faults as a player, or just picking bad destinations, picking bad teams to be moved to, and not really putting himself in a winning situation because the money was more important. So
I know like the New York situation with the Knicks, his wife was, had a residence in New York. But Daniel, the thing I'll say and everything is, like, yeah, he's made Portland better. But what's the one thing he's done in Portland he never did at any other part of his career? He's taken a backseat role, right? Damian Lillard's the alpha male for Portland, right? Like Melo's just there. He's just like, hey, y'all, I'm still like here and I'm still scoring and I'm still doing it at a pretty good level. But he's decided to play second or third fiddle to a guy that's the true superstar on that team. Anytime Melo's had to be the guy or at least one of the guys, like if he was considered a superstar on that team, right? And James Harden's another great example. In a new age style NBA. Yeah, he's been an ISO player his whole fucking career back when it wasn't a new age style NBA, and he didn't win shit in his prime because the guy's a loser. And it's not that like it's not.
I don't think it's a loser. I think he's always been told that.
No,
I don't think he's a loser. I think he overestimates himself because everyone told him all his career that he was a superstar. Where he is what he should have been all his career is what Dwight Howard is now. That situational starter, that guy off the bench who's amazing and puts teams away.
Melo's one of the most elite scorers in NBA history. Like he scores at an elite clip. That's all fine. But the guy, like we want to talk about not winning. Like at least Westbrook went to an NBA Finals, right? Like Melo's never even made it. He made it to the West Finals. Oh, he made it to the West Finals, Steven. To the Western Conference Finals twice. Oh, he made it twice. How am I get to the Western Conference Finals?
And that's why
he made it to the Western Conference Finals twice.
But CJ, this is exactly what you're
twice.
saying right here is exactly why Zach has that opinion that he's an overall loser. Listen, I don't dwell success on whether you win championships. We've seen plenty of guys have Hall of Fame careers and and things like that and without having to win. Okay, but that doesn't necessarily mean he's a loser either.
Comparing him to Westbrook in the idea, in the sense that are they winning players in the sense that do they actually elevate their teams to the level where they're like Chris Paul to me is a winner.
Oh
Not only
man,
does he put up numbers, but when he goes to a team, he makes them so much better that you can like see it with your own eyes that he's had this impact on that team where it's made everybody around him better. Westbrook puts up great numbers, right? Melo's put up great numbers his whole career. Right, I agreed. I said Westbrook at least went to a finals, Daniel. That's what I said. At least he went to a finals, right? At least Westbrook went to a finals and he can say that. But I agree with you. Like, I'm very, literally I've been saying this whole time that Westbrook and Melo are very, very, like almost the same player when it comes to that comparison. Like, yes, they both put up sexy numbers, but
oh man,
neither one of them is like they don't win you anything, right? Like they just like all it really is. Like that's what it is. I don't mean to sound disrespectful, but like it's just empty numbers at some point, right? Like, great, you've got all these triple doubles, Russell Westbrook, but like you're a 7 seed. Like, what does it do for you? You know what I mean? Like, you didn't make your team better. You didn't really elevate people around you. Like, it's just kind of sexy to watch it on the highlight film and then go look at the numbers later. But it doesn't have the impact on the court that it should have.
Are you gonna weigh in on Ralphie's nonsense?
95 mile per hour fastball, not even close, Ralph. I mean, it's not even close. You obviously haven't played baseball in your life because I mean, anybody that's played, but that's not even close. Go look into the science of actually being able to follow a 95 mile per hour fastball in and square it up and hit it. Like, it's fucking insanity. Like the hand-eye coordination and like how quick a ball gets on you. A 95 mile per hour fastball gets on you from a pitcher's mound. It's crazy, Ralph. You'd have no chance at the plate. Let me tell you. Melo wanted. Fuck. Did he? What? When?
We're going back to this one.
Okay, Daniel, they're the same player. Yes, thank you. They're the same fucking player. They both don't make their team better. Neither one of them does anything in the play. What have I been over here fucking like making Westbrook into like some god or something? No, hell, I've said the same shit about him I did about Melo. Yeah, that's stupid, TJ.
Yeah.
Moving the mound back a foot doesn't help the fact that guys can't hit worth a damn. What do they think moving the mound back a foot's going to do?
So, what other matchups are you looking for? You liking to see what the Suns can do with the Lakers? Are you surprised about that?
Absolutely.
I know some people are giving I seen some people already trashing Steph for losing for whatever reason.
Yeah, listen. I mean, Steph,
if you really think about it, he just started hitting his midseason form. Like, I never thought this season was going to be anything much for them anyways. I would more worried to see what they would do next season.
Yeah. If Klay Thompson comes back and they're able to add like another legitimate player, all of a sudden they're right back in the conversation out there. But for Steph, I think what's impressive about Steph this year, what Steph did at his age, to lead the league in scoring the way that he did.
What's up, B-Dub?
Like the conversation all year, like the list of guys that,
now
it's crazy to think he did what he did at 33 as opposed to 25.
Now you were already talking about the Utah Jazz. That's a team that has your attention. They're playing the Blazers.
Yeah,
how you see that one playing out?
That's a good series. I might stay up late to watch that series. I'll be up late watching maybe. Yeah, that's a good series there. I think the Lakers might get fucking swept, bro. To be honest, like the Lakers are not like a good basketball team. Like they're just not. Like everybody knows the Lakers. Like, I mean, it's of course like they got LeBron. AD's still a stud, but it's not like. That's not a championship basketball team. Yeah, I would be shocked if it even made it to 6, TJ. Like, I mean, I might say 5 because it's hard to sweep, but I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if they win in 5. Like, but 6, I mean, 6 is a good number because you could sit there and say LeBron might even will them to a couple wins just because. But like, they're just not like they can't like. Chris Paul, Devin Booker, that's a matchup.
You don't think there's any chance that LeBron, revives the Lakers from last season, or you just think the West is that much better this year, especially the Suns?
The West is really good. The Suns are really good. The Jazz were always really good, and they might finally, have found themselves like as a complete team. Like as far as they're gelling, on all levels right now. And when you're clicking on all cylinders the way that they are, Hey,
I do think the
Blazers are tough. Like Damian Lillard come playoff time is a guy that like
it's terrifying.
He enjoys. It's almost like he's like, hey, I play in Portland in the regular season and I'm rarely ever on national TV. Come playoff time, I'm balling out because the whole world's watching. Like, hey, I'm going to do my thing. I wouldn't be. Yeah, he could carry them on a little run just because and got the perfect little role, group of role players around him. Yeah, that's not a bad point there. It would help. It would help if Ayton stepped up, right, and it could at least be a little bit of something, towards AD. Give him a little something, like give him a little bit of a challenge, make his job a little harder, right?
I mean, Miami's a tough matchup and everything like that, but come playoff time, I still believe in what this team is and what they've built and how they've played this season. That I said it from the beginning of the year. It was Eastern Conference Finals and some hardware. I'm going to stick to it. We got the nominations so far. We got the Defensive Player of the Year, and we got the MVP nominations for both Ben and Joe. So. We'll see if my way early season predictions come to fruition. We're looking good so far. At least on my end. What do you think? Do you think I'm right now at this point in time? We got the nominations and you already know what it is. You see who everyone's against. Joe's got going against Steph and Joker. And in my opinion, the only one Ben's really going against is Rudy. So. Do we take any one of those outside of the team accolades that we're looking at?
Yeah, I mean, I don't think Joel should be MVP. You just listen. This is the way it works. Okay, if you want to be MVP, you can't miss 21 games. Right? Like you just can't. That's just the way it works. Oh, maybe it's unfair. Oh well, that's the way it works. The other guys played a full season and has arguably been just as good of a player as you, right? So, I Joker should win. For me, like Jokic should win the MVP. Like he's the MVP. He even had his like Jamal Murray go down right with the knee injury, right? Like you want to talk about like a team like that was that team, Murray and Jokic with the 2 stars. He's got Murray go down. He has to carry that team, and he does, right? And he does carry that team. Embiid, if Embiid had played 65 games out of the 72 as opposed to what 50?
All right, so we're going that way, right? Is that where we're going? Then how did Allen win?
Think when you look at the history of the MVP award, I don't think
Allen missed like almost 30 games the year he won it. Did he not? Didn't Allen miss 30 games that year?
I don't think I don't think he did in 01, but you go look into. I think 01 was actually a year where he stayed healthy and played. Most
I think he missed at least 20. He missed at least 20 games that year.
If go look it up for me because I don't think he did. I remember him carrying us on his back. I do
remember him carrying us on his back. That still doesn't mean he didn't miss 20 games.
He might have missed a few games, but I don't remember. I don't think he missed 20 games that year. But I mean, still, you would look at that year and say, okay, then who was his competition? Who was he going against? Could it have been a year where they just you didn't have somebody that was on his level? Like, this year Jokic has been on Embiid's level. So it's not like you could say like the only reason Embiid isn't winning it is because he's missing games. Like, I'm just saying that's for me why he can't be in that like.
No, but you've been anti-Joe this MVP this whole year, man. I'm not taking anything you say with any seriousness.
Jokic has been on just as good of a level as Joel. Like they've been neck and neck. Joel's my guy.
All right, so Daniel got the answer. Daniel got the answer. He played 60 games.
AI played 60 of the 82.
It's like I was right. He at least missed 20. I was wrong with 30. I was off by 8.
You got to go look at. That's a long time ago, right? We're talking about a long, long time ago. If we got to go back that far for it, that's 20 years now. Is pretty damn long to go back to find your last example of that. But go find me who finished second in the MVP voting that year.
Listen. I gotta say,
that's an important thing with that, Steven. You can't just say Joel gets it because there's other competition. Like it's like Jokic is what's his name said. Jokic nearly averaged a triple double. So he played on a high level too. When you actually look at the efficiency rating, or as like Jokic had the highest efficiency rating per minute of any player in the NBA. So depending on how you measure these things, I mean, I think they were really close, dude. I think it's unfair to Jokic, which is a situation he got put in with Murray being hurt, to sit there and be like, like Embiid was clearly the better player. I don't know if he was. I think they were really, really close.
And TJ just brought up the fact that Shaq did it too.
Yeah, and Shaq probably, like, go back and look at Shaq's numbers that year, and they're probably even more dominant than any of the guys in the conversation this year, right? Like, you're probably looking at a guy that year where you're just like, dude, like, holy shit, like, how did you average that, type of thing? Yeah, I mean, it happened, but it's not a common thing, right? Like, usually if you got two guys that are close, it's going to go to the guy.
So, yeah, the following year he played the whole season. That's where you got that threw you off. The following year he played the whole season.
But yeah,
I still love how people give Allen that injury-prone moniker when he was just a freaking.
He was just banged up. He wasn't. He was a definition of a guy that played hurt.
No, he just played like a wild man. So like you tend to get banged up and hurt, man.
But, I mean, listen, Steven. So say we're saying this, right? There you go, Odubel. Way to have a productive at bat. Sack fly to center field. Oh, that's productive. Good.
That was good. It was a good at bat. You see him battling too. TJ timing in, he went against Duncan and Shaq that year. So, like, if you asking me, it's kind of in a similar situation.
No, he's just saying Duncan was second that year. He's talking about the year that AI won the MVP voting. Duncan was second and Shaq was third. Not that they had. He's not saying that either one of them had missed that much time while winning or whatever.
Oh man, I knew this was coming.
He's just saying that
No, Daniel, that is no.
taking a
No.
second or third.
This is sad news. This is sad news. Very sad news.
Look,
So-
is it bad, Steven, that they're giving Odubel that much love over a sacrifice fly in the fucking dugout? Like, way to not be a fucking asshole and a selfish piece of shit and actually do something to help the baseball team. High five. Like,
why
what
are you
the fuck?
concentrating on that, man? Paul Felder just retired.
Steven, like, I don't even follow MMA, but I knew
I
Paul
don't
Felder
care
was
where
going
you
to
follow
retire.
or not. How about
No,
that?
but I'm saying I knew that was going to happen, and I don't even follow the sport in the way that you do, and I knew that was going to happen.
Yeah, but like I said, man,
Dude, hold on. He's been ducking dudes on fucking social media for the better part of a year now.
you really think that dude ducks anybody? Are you serious?
The one dude just called him out, and he was like, "Yeah," he's like, "I'm good with that." He was.
Because he probably had his plans. Like, do you not realize he like the dude that has like a like a degree from the University of Arts and stuff like that? He had
Felder
dude,
put out a tweet. Felder put out a tweet to one of the fighters saying, "Meet me in the street," and the guy was like, "Come meet me in the octagon," and he was like, "Nah, I'm good." And it's like that was like his tweet was like, "Yeah, I'm good with that." Like, or no, he said, "No." His exact tweet was, "I'd rather watch paint dry." He was like, "Come meet me in the street," and the guy was like, "Why don't you meet me in the octagon?" He's like,
okay,
I'd rather
dude.
watch paint dry."
You have to remember his last fight he took on short notice. It was just like one of those things. Like, hey, can you make weight? Yeah, Paul, I can make weight. So he took a fight. Like, dude, this has been like a long time coming to his official retirement. Him ducking and dude, that dude will fight anybody, anywhere, and that's what he basically trying to say. Like, listen, if it's that deep, come see me. It was that deep.
Okay, well, whatever.
TJ says he's gonna be back for super fights. No, I don't think so.
If Embiid wins the MVP, like I'm not going to sit here and say, "All right, travesty and Jokic got robbed." I'm just saying.
Thank you.
If you line him up,
that's all I gotta say.
if we line them up, Steven, like say you have two players, right? And they're very, very like close as far as how good of years they had. Right. And you're like, yeah, he had a really good year. Like,
so
pretty
Jay
much an equally good year.
he says Simmons is gonna win the defensive player of the year.
That's the one I've been harping on like forever on the show now, is that Simmons is my defensive player of the year. That's the one that you haven't heard me shut up about. Because I know his competition's Rudy Gobert, and I said he dropped 40.
I know you.
If they give the award to Rudy Gobert, Steven, now that would be highway robbery. That's a travesty. Ben Simmons scored 42 points on the guy in Utah. How the hell is that guy defensive player of the year? You couldn't even lock up Ben Simmons.
Tell him, Zach. Tell the people what it is, man.
Simmons is your defensive player of the year. That shouldn't even be like, that should just be like a unanimous thing. Embiid, I think that's going to be a close race. I really do. I think it's going to be close, and I think Steph's going to steal a few votes from him. Right, and I'm with you.
No,
there, right? I
actually,
want Embiid to win too.
that's what I'm thinking. I thinking actually what happens is he'll wind up winning out because like he'll get the proper amount of votes, like people think he should win, but that those two will cancel each other out, and Joe will sneak in. Like I think it's like you said. I think it's going to be. I think this will probably be the closest MVP voting we've had in a long time.
I wouldn't be surprised by it, and maybe it should be, because like I said, they've been equally that good of players this year. Like they should be neck and neck like that. And the only logic I'm trying to use with you, Stephen, for where I'm coming from with my point is because, yeah, and I agree with you. I said that too. If he had played 65 of the 72 instead of playing 50, we're having a completely different conversation. But
you also got to remember he load managed 10 of those games at least.
Right. If you line them up side by side, Stephen, right, and you said, okay, identical players had identical years.
And Jay's on the same point where you
that
James
and
James on the same point where you were earlier. You know what I mean? That they're gonna give it to Jokic because he got hurt. Because
yeah, and I see, and that's that. I think that's the best point. Really the best point in all of this, Stephen, is the fact that he had to do all of that with once he stepped up and carried that team and did all that without Murray in the lineup, you almost like, yeah, like this guy is. We're
a little bit early tonight, but it looks like our guest is in the back. So let's have some fun. Let's switch gears up real quick for the fam here. Good friend of mine, talked to her so many times over the past. She's got a real big fight lined up coming here June 10th for PFLMMA. She's going to be welcoming Clarissa Shields to the mixed martial arts world, to PFLMMA. without any further ado, our guest for this afternoon, Miss Brittney Elkin.
Hi, guys.
What is up, my friend?
Hi, how are you doing?
Oh, I'm doing great. You know, really appreciate you you catching up with me. You know, me and you go way back in cage side submission days. You know, going back to just sitting there talking to me on the phone. That now we're sitting
I
there.
know it's such an advancement now, having like face on the interview now.
Consistently, right?
Right. It's a cool growth in actually like personalizing the fighter too with the interview. You know what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely. Now, obviously you're new here. Kind of give everyone a little background. Into your career. You know, how'd you get into combat sports, and how did this other great opportunity come upon you? This is the second big fight really had for PFL. You get to kind of introduce their stars, so to speak, and here we are.
I mean, like those are like huge questions. I got started in Gillette, Wyoming, by some local friends. They're friends now, but back then they were like the local promotion, and they brought in a guest, like to be the cool fan base person. And back then it was Spencer Fisher, and I just ended up talking. I was bartending, and I just ended up talking to them, and I was like CrossFit athletic, I guess is how you would describe my body tone and like my style. I was like 21. And those guys were like, you could fight. You could be a fighter. And I was like, yeah, I could. I don't remember really every single thing about it, but I quickly started fighting and going to like the local Gillette, Wyoming gym. I think it was called Iron Wolf Gym. And then like the fight team was La Familia. So those were my like credible backstories from like 12, 13 years ago. I had been fighting for a really long time. I actually started fighting before jiu-jitsu. I'm like so known in jiu-jitsu, but I started MMA before I ever put on a gi. You know what I mean? So like I came into that. So I've just been around a long time. I've had some misfortune in the career, and I'm looking for an upset on June 10th. I got the call directly from Ray Sefo, kind of threw me down the offer on April Fool's Day of all things. So I thought
did you ask him if he was messing with you at that point in time? Are you messing with me, right?
Like, I think I asked him about 10 times if he was joking, because I was like, are you fucking kidding, dude? You know? But yeah, ended up being like an incredible adventure that's really had a couple of shaping character moments in it, and bringing my love back to MMA. I've been having a great camp. I'm really enjoying it. You know?
Yeah, I gotta ask you. You know, you're out from the other side. Literally, from what I've seen from your social media, you spent this whole camp here on the East Coast. Here in our backyard. You've been in the tri-state area. You know, parts of PA, Philadelphia, over there in New York. So, who are you working with? Specifically, and what have you been kind of really concentrating on this camp?
Well, awesome. I've been, first of all, I moved out here on March 1st. I came for a career development part, and because I've been working with shows and entertainment and production for five years now with Fight to Win, and they taught me a lot in my growth, and that career choice was to move to Philadelphia and take a job. And instead of moving to Philadelphia, I just chose New York City because I wanted to, and I have a friend here that let me kind of help me with that bridge of crossing the country and moving into a home already, you know what I mean? And not searching for everything, because it's already breaking enough. But at the point that I came here, I was retired from MMA, just venturing in jiu-jitsu, getting ready for some big events for the year. I was planning on ADCC trials and then several other events leading up to that. I forgot where I was going with the question because I talk so much. But who am I working with out here and everything like that? That's what we were talking about. I apologize about that. But yeah,
that's all right, man. Listen,
local gyms right in this Manhattan area, but I've really camped at Finishers MMA. The headquarters over there, 10th Planet Bethlehem, it's 10th Planet Bethlehem Finishers MMA program. Zach Makowski is the lead MMA guy down there, and then I've had a lot of like their top trainers. JM Holland's been a big part of it, talking to me all the time about the chokes, and down to my roommate's been a big part of it. David Weintraub's in combat jiu-jitsu for Eddie Bravo by Worlds. Everybody I'm most 10 top people in my world are very big a part of this fight, and it's mostly in Bethlehem, but I live in Manhattan, so it's kind of interesting.
So you got to take that long trip in the mornings, obviously, right?
I do it 4 times a week there, and then I go in. One of my cornermen, Jay Regla Budo, I always say his name so hard. Regla Budo is in my corner, and I go and do 1 day a week over in New Jersey, and then I do a couple of recovery active type things down here in Manhattan. So I'm traveling all over. I go to Unity for my jiu-jitsu right here locally, and what a pro team that is, an incredible team to have right in my backyard. And I have a lot of options. I just the MMA is where I'm kind of gearing my energy and time, especially in these crunch last weeks, so.
Yeah, I know you always take it seriously. You cut things off early in the camp just so you can kind of really concentrate on what you're doing. And it sounds like you've been really working hard on the jiu-jitsu aspect of it. But obviously, got to ask you, Clarissa Shields, has her own pedigree. Has definitely a name attached to her. Extremely confident in herself. I'm not sure how she's spoken about the fight or you or anything like that, but obviously got to ask, she has world class hands. You've been obviously working diligently on your grappling and improving your game, but got to ask you, are you even attempting to engage in that type of war with her, or you're just trying to bring her to the world of MMA altogether?
All right, so I don't expect me to have no Olympic hands to match Clarissa's pedigree. You know what I mean? Of course, that's a bad game plan for me to stand in front of her and try to square up and box and see whose hands are faster. She wins that battle of boxing. I am going to do MMA striking. I am going to do a lot of different striking that, isn't boxing. Maybe boxing will be in there. You know what I mean? I get to pick a bunch of options, and I have more than just one. I never really have got done what I've wanted to do in my mind off in there, and I plan to this time. I've really, really been working on the delivery of all the tools I have. So yeah, I can strike, dudes.
Oh, I know you can, and you know that, and this is one of the reasons why I wanted to talk to you, because everyone's kind of hyping her up about this. Listen, Carissa's going to be an amazing fighter once she puts that time in and things like that. Listen, yes, there's levels.
Amazing fighter. You know what I mean?
Absolutely, and no one can take that away from her. But to sit there and say that she's just gonna kind of blow through some of these people, and she has a great team around her, and she has a great pedigree. But you've been around this game, you've trained with a lot of people, and listen, if I'm one of these fighters looking at Clarissa, when I want to put her in with a grappler who's a little bit bigger than her, could bully her and put her up against the cage and do that dirty boxing like Randy used to do, throw you up against the cage, don't leave you any space, punch you in your ear, make you uncomfortable.
Right. Well, I mean, stylistically, we're very different. We're versed differently. You know what I mean? What's going to come out? It's kind of curious. I'm also a fan. I'm going to watch it after. You know what I mean? One of the hardest things to do is watch your wins and losses. I've watched so many of mine right now. I want to have a better predictability of achieving a better outcome for myself. I think that Clarissa has holes in MMA that I can advance on. I think that, she doesn't only have boxing. I think it'd be stupid to think that she.
Oh, absolutely.
Boxing, you know what I mean? And I can't get lost in these what people say things, because it really doesn't fucking matter. It matters what's in there. A lot of people say a lot about me, and I have capabilities that they, I don't even set to prove. What I'm setting to prove is dominance in this, taking over and being first in ways that isn't just fast hands. You know what I mean? Also recognizing cues of moving forward that lead me into a better position always. You know what I mean? And I don't want to do too jiu-jitsu-y things. I am very known for jiu-jitsu, and I kind of just let that ride. I'm like, let's go. Keep on talking about my jiu-jitsu. Keep on just worrying about jiu-jitsu. Yep, I'm going for heel hooks and, all these rolls. Let's just do that. I hope I'm going to pull guard. I actually have convinced a couple of people to bet on me that I'm going to pull guard. Yeah, sure, I'm going to pull guard. I don't care, anybody, yeah, I'm a jiu-jitsu girl, right? My best benefit is in my fucking safety place, right? But I got to get there. I can't pretend like I don't have to fight half of the fight. You know, I can't pretend like I get to just skip over the boxing side of Clarissa or the striking or anything else she has to offer. I have to be ready for all these other things. And so I'm planning to be dominant and recognizing my advancing forward things. And I'm just worried about me right now. You know,
Right. That's all you can really worry about at the end of the day. Like you said, you know, you two had kind of totally different styles. It's kind of interesting to see, you know, how it's going to play out in an MMA fight. It's going to be interesting.
Yeah, I know. I'm even interested. I'm like excited, you know. It's fun. It's been fun.
Listen, and you haven't been getting an easy task every time PFL calls your number. They're giving you, you know,
Tell me an easy fight that I've had. I fought girls like Amanda Bell. I fought her twice. You know, she's very reputable. And I had a better fight the second time. That was a dark fight for Bellator, but was still very fucking hard. And you know, I think I've grown a lot since all these fights. I fought LaToya Walker at her prime. She was back then when she was fighting Charmaine Tweet. It was incredible when Charmaine Tweet knocked her out. It was a main event fight. You know, I fought a lot of OGs. I've got a lot of experience, and I fought a lot of people that have a lot of grit. So you know, maybe Kayla walked through me. I don't plan for Clarissa to walk through me. That's not going to happen again.
Well, and that's another thing. Like people don't understand the mental toughness that also comes into it. You know, sometimes things happen in life for certain reasons. You're in a new place, a new mindset. You know, a new chapter in life. You know, Rita's. It's kind of see what the reborn Brittney Elkin's going to be like. You know, obviously, you know, you're in a different environment. I think it's going to be a different outcome as well. I can't sit there and say if you're going to win or lose. It's one of these fights where you both bring amazing things to the table. I know everyone's going to be betting wise going to sit there and say, hey, you know, Clarissa's going to do her thing. But you know, I'm one of these guys that knows how the things work in MMA. Weird things happen. Matchups makes fight. This is a fun matchup. I'm really interested to see where it is. And listen, not just her pedigree, like as you were saying, like people tend to forget that she has been working in MMA. It's not just something she just picked up last week. She has a good team around her, so it's only a matter of time before she starts to hone in on what she's going to do. So really interested to see how it plays out. What do you think about that main event slot? Is that another fun thing for you to get the lights on you in that way as well?
We got the main event spot.
I thought that's what you guys did. You guys didn't get the main event. What is that?
I don't know. I mean, nobody's really been talking to me about. I mean, I've been in contact with PFL. Don't think I'm saying something.
Oh yeah, I know.
But no, nobody's told me what position we are on it. I assumed that it was going to be, you know, something.
Well, no, I see. That's where I assumed it was, just because the tournament's going on, and you know.
So I saw the tournament thing. Trust me, I'm a fan too. I mean, what a cool thing. We got the main event spot. I mean, I'm down. I mean, and do I get a choice? No, I could fight at fucking 9 a.m. or I could fight at 9 p.m. You know what I mean? But I'm going to be ready either way. If I got the main event spot for this, what a cool fucking thing, dude! Like
co-main. Okay, Daniel corrected me. You guys are co-main, so
that's where I thought. That's where I seriously thought we were going to end up anyway. It was the co-main event, and hopefully I get to have eyes on the main event. You just want to hope for the best outcome. I feel ready 3 weeks out. I mean, I have a great mental behind me. Keeping lighthearted. I really, really don't even. I check, you know, certain social media platforms.
Oh yeah, I know you do. Like, listen, like, dude, me and you've talked about this so many times over the years. Like we take everything people say with a grain of salt. Like, listen.
I just don't. Yeah, I don't merit that up very well.
Like, I know you going off it because I can't even find your Twitter anymore. I'm like, wait, I know she has a Twitter. And it's like, I see you saying it looks like it's deactivated or something.
I do have a Twitter. No, it's activated. It's Brittney Elkin MMA. I changed from BlueJet86 to Brittney Elkin MMA.
That's how you got me.
I also, like, that's what I think you'll find all my things are right now. Just because I thought it'd be easier to find when everybody, you know, finds out who.
Yeah, because I was also looking like with PFL's like promoting your guys' fights. I'm like, why are they not tagging Brittney within these posts? What's going on?
Well, yeah.
I mean, I figured it was you were changing something up with your social media one way or another.
I'm sure that, you know, they probably. That's probably a disservice that I have done. You know what I mean? Like, sometimes I'm hard to find, sometimes on purpose.
No, you're on IG. You're easy to find.
Yeah, Instagram is where I usually have put my platform all at once, because, like, when I'm
It's easy
switching
to get
all
everything
these-
out of
I
from
switch
there.
to all these platforms and I switch and I switch and I switch. I've always used like Facebook mildly, but mildly more maybe now than, like I used to. But just try to mostly use Instagram. Sometimes I personally use Snapchat with friends because I'm an asshole and a troll and I troll a lot of people, but that's it. And I don't use Twitter a lot. Every time I use it, I'm like, oh, who the fuck is talking to me on this shit?
Well, no, you heard what happened to Chokagian, right?
No, listen, no.
Oh my God, dude! Someone, her account kept getting hacked, and apparently the hacker had an affinity for some porn and was just liking everything, and like, man, then the media starts acting Derek Lewis questions about it and stuff like this. I'm like, oh my gosh, the world we live in these days. But yeah, I mean. The one thing I want to ask you, you said you went out there to take a job. Obviously, the whole grappling aspect of your life has always been probably the more consistent part of your combat sports life. Kind of what are kind of the things you're getting into, and when are we going to see more of you in Philly? What's up? I'm over here. I haven't caught you yet. What's going on?
I know. Well, you'll have to come by the 2300 arena. I'm working over there. They gave me the ops manager job, and it's so amazing how amazing they are. They gave me the ops manager job, and then a month after moving there, I'm like, hey, I need 8 weeks off, and they still gave me 8 weeks off. My job is still there. So I'm doing events and stuff there. I've had a great relationship with that venue for years. And so
we love that venue here. For anyone that doesn't know, that's the old ECW arena. This is where a good 90% of all your combat sports and wrestling events go on down there. Your local fights go down there. Obviously, the fight to win. They do some of their events there. And we've also seen your little four-legged buddy. What's his name? I got to get that, man.
It's a girl, and her name is Squish. Yeah, she's dope. She's my little trooper. She's also kind of like crazy. She's strong. She's like 85 pounds and just pulls me through the city. Everything smells good to her, and like so. She's definitely like a reverse sled pull. Like she's just dragging me around, and I'm trying to put the brakes on. You know what I mean? So.
Oh, that's what pits are, especially that breed. The one you get when you get the ones that are the big stocky brown ones, because I got one too, and he's the same way. He's 100 miles an hour all the time. And for people who are paying attention, the Phillies are just getting blown out right now. Just gave back-to-back solo home runs. But let's get back to this. Let's not dwell on the Phillies' woes right now.
No worries. I don't really follow baseball right now, or that's
what. Do you follow any sports outside of?
I do. I used to follow the Red Sox. I worked in a Boston bar. I got really into. I'm a Patriots fan, but I haven't been following sports since the Corona pandemic, because I've been just focused on the other things. Like that pandemic really shut off a lot of doors and opened a lot of other ones. And I used to work in bars. I used to manage bars and be in the industry. And I'd always put sports on the TVs in front of me with the captions. And I'd watch them every day because I was in there 5 days a week, so I was really influent with a lot of the things that were going on. And then when I had left bar scene, I was in a Boston bar for years, I think around 5 years, something like that, in that Boston bar. So I was really into like the communal Boston fan base in Denver, Colorado. You know what I mean? Like, and it's just funny how that happens sometimes. And then
that's going to be interesting. You're going to be in the Philadelphia, New York area as a Boston fan.
Yeah, I know. I basically, the only thing I really held on to was the Patriots. And it's more because I'm in like all these little groups and with some really great friends. And I just like sports because I like, being excited about a team. I really pick one if I'm watching, and it is captivating to watch an athlete. You know what I mean? Like, an athlete is just, fun to watch.
It's just another form of entertainment for us, just in a kind of setting that we prefer. If you really think about it, when you think about everything that we do to entertain ourselves, sports, movies, we're all looking at an entertainer who's given us our own brand of either humor or entertainment.
Right. So yeah, I mean, I have hobbies and I enjoy outside activities than fighting. Sometimes I don't even get to watch many of the fights, like I am a fan of fighting. I end up, I think when I first started fighting, I was like a fan of all the show. I watched all of it and I watched everybody's fights and just I had favorite fighters and stuff. Now I just have friends that are fighting soon and I just pay attention to their fight coming up and like those things.
Sometimes and yeah, I know where you get it because, like, when you've been following the sport so long, when you've been involved in the sport so long, you get to the point of like I like unless there's somebody I really want to see fight or somebody who's really exciting coming up or somebody I have a personal connection with, I'm not really tuning in anymore. And it's not anything against any of the athletes.
It's not anything against anybody. It's just I don't have the money, honestly, to have all these platforms. And
not just that. Do we have the time? Like, you got to think of how much all the sports have grown over the last handful of years. Not just combat sports, not just MMA, not just jiu-jitsu. Not even just your big four. It's more than just even the big four. All sports have grown a lot over the last 5 years. So it's like pandemic aside, like everything's opening back up. It's going to be really hard to keep up with everything. Like you look at how entertainment business is going to be moving forward with all the movies and stuff coming out over the next year or so. It's going to be insane for people to kind of do all the stuff.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's already pretty insane right now when it's coming back. I've had a lot of people ask me what it's like to come back in athletics with that break. I never took a break, and neither, I guess our team took a break all the time, and we followed all the rules. That's what happened in 2020. Everybody followed all the rules. But no, I didn't. I didn't follow the rules. I fucking went and trained every single second that I wanted to be training. I mean, I'm not going to sit here and pretend that I was some kind of motivational movie and I made sure that everything I ate was fucking, gluten-free.
Listen, we all know, like, you knew you weren't taking a fight. You'd be like, listen, I don't have to be 100% on him, but I'm going to enjoy myself during this time.
I think the mic, I don't know what happened, but somehow I got a lot of back noise on the mic. I don't know what happened there. But if it was me, let me know. I can't hear anything now. Are you there?
Yeah, I'm here. I've just got the Phillies game going too, so like I'm trying to pay attention to that and this, but I'm going in and out with like the connection a little bit here, so I wasn't trying to speak too much.
Oh, over in the corner. Okay, now I heard you weren't trying to speak too much, but then the rest sounded kind of robotic, so I have a hard time understanding.
It was going in and out on you guys' end, and I didn't want to speak too much because I got the Phillies game going. Unfortunately, still, but I was like, I'm not going to speak if it's going in and out.
Okay, no problem. I didn't know what was happening, so I was like, oh, was me? I didn't know, but no worries. No. No, I don't remember what we were talking about. I'm sorry. I don't have a mic at all on his now. I can't hear.
Mine?
There, now I can hear. I can't hear Steven.
I don't know what's going on.
I don't know. Can you hear him?
I can't hear Steven either, so maybe that was the problem before.
I don't know.
Oh no, I don't know where to take this because I'm not like the MMA person like this.
Well, you know what? I kind of know where to take a couple things while he's working on that.
Why don't you tell us, like,
I'll take the lead. All right.
Okay.
I don't know. I know a couple questions that I've been getting asked.
How about now? Can you hear me now?
No,
there we go, Steven.
Oh,
what the fuck was that?
I don't know, Steven.
Listen, dude, I told you this week has been utter nonsense for me. Freaking the water heater goes, personal stuff going on. Like, listen, just even ask Zach, the start of the show, everything was being goofy. Like, listen, I'm just rolling with it at this point.
Still being goofy, Steven, because I told her the reason I just had the Phillies and the NBA playoffs on, and I was going back and forth between them because things were kind of sketchy on my end, and I didn't want to talk and interrupt anything. Like, I kind of messed up other interviews in the past.
Like a robot mic, and then I was like, I don't know if that was me or not. So now we're all back, I guess. Right?
Yeah. Daniel basically wanted to know what your fight contract situation was with PFL. Are you on 1-1? Are you doing 2 fights? Like how's that one working out?
So I'm just on a 1-fight contract. I mean, I think they have a certain window to offer me another one after the contract, or like they get like to, if let's say I got offered another contract, they have the right to offer a counter or something. You know what I mean? Like,
so it's basically a one-off unless they like what they see in this fight.
Yeah. I mean, and what do I expect other than that? I'm 3-6, and I lost my last 2 fights with injury, and then I also came out of retirement. So, I mean, I actually think I got a pretty good contract here for me. I have nothing to lose in this fight. I have only things to win. And I think all the pressure is really on Clarissa. I have pressure on me. I'm not dumb. But yeah, those are my contracts, and it kind of gives me a good
yeah,
run.
your back's more against the wall than it is for her. Like yeah, pressure's on her just like it would be regardless. But don't think that it should be any different than or anything that she's not used to. But I think it makes you a little bit more dangerous because you're in a situation where you don't have all that back, and you've been down, you've been pushed out, you've had a rough. I still think that those are the most dangerous athletes in the world.
Yeah, I think that I definitely have an opportunity to have an upset, and I definitely have the right mind right now to create a great fight. I'm in a great place in my life, career-wise, even before this, so much so that I could, take off the time to do this well. You know what I mean? And then I don't feel stars like this align so many times in your life that you can just pass an opportunity this big by. So I decided to take this chance and run with it. What I was going through in my head that day, I cannot promise was sanity, because it was a lot to come away from and come back into. I went through, I think I cried to weird music the whole way home just because I was grasping again at all these realities that were about to come in front of me, and I've been through this before, so it is a lot.
Hey man, the mental game is just as much as everything that goes on in that cage. I say it all the time. Yeah,
and then I think that I'm going to be really good in there. Like for that, my head feels really good for this one. So in that
again, I still think it's this Northeast environment brings that positive energy into you.
It does. It's I've had so much positive energy out here. I'm telling you, like those first couple of days, it was a lot. Like I was like, do I run back home? Do I go back to Denver? I've only been out here a month. Do I go put a camp together here of people that I've never worked with, and how do I trust them, and how do they know me? And we have to start from ground zero and basically learn the shrimp over the way they want me to do it. And
I'm just saying, you're already there in New York. You're already here in the Philadelphia area. You already know who's going to be able to help you. You have good MMA gyms. You have good and not just that. Memory serves me. If you're in New York, isn't Amanda Serrano in New York? Well, you should give her a call.
I haven't begun working with her. I didn't know that. And I'm still learning the familiarities, of what athletes are around. I do have a lot of help. I have Amanda LeVay. She's here working with me. I have, I've had a lot of help from just the local 10th Planet team, the Finishers MMA team. Zach throwing at me people that he's, knows their style so we can keep a striker going on me and put the pressure on me. I feel very helped. I feel very, very well treated, and giving, the East Coast that I've met has given me nothing but the best. And I feel taken care of too, So yeah, I'm going in there with a strong, safe head, with my brutality behind it.
Oh man, it's one of the things that you do so well. You're not one of these fighters that get put away easy. You got plenty of fight in you, and it's one of the things that I love about you. You're just not somebody that's going to go away easily. You don't go quietly into that night. So it's definitely one of the things that I've always appreciated about your fighting style and just who you are as a person. Again, how I always say, I really wish you nothing but the best of skill in this one. And, and how we wrap it up up is how we always do. We throw that proverbial microphone over you. Anyone you would like to thank, teammates, training, people you were training, give them some love. Shoot out your sponsors, again, your social sites, anything you're working with outside of that too. You want to let people know you have any charities you're working with, any events coming up or anything like that. The time is yours, my friend.
Okay, awesome. Thank you guys for having me on. First of all, thank you for this moment to tell a couple of people who have worked really hard for me. Thank you. I gotta tell my son and family that thank you for all your support, and thank you for supporting me for the last 13 years in MMA. My head coach, Brad Nicolaarson, is making this trip to be in my corner from Denver, and my home team at Compound Training Center. Everybody there has helped build me to this person I've created today, and you're in my heart forever, Compound Training Center. I love you so much. And I have Brianna Fasori, who has just put in tireless effort, and she's also a woman, so I've confided in her a little too closely of all my fucking craziness, and she's just nothing but a friend. So Brianna Fasori is just helping me with all these sponsor packages in my corner, tons of experience in fighting, and she's also been my friend for a long time. We've been in fighting for a very long time, so thank you, Brianna. Thank you, Jay Roboto, for being my third corner and a very wise man to come together with me in this and give me all your team's efforts to come forward. Got to say a super shout out to 10th Planet in Bethlehem, giving me their facility and just training center to use constantly, and giving me their best athletes to help me become my best. Zach Makowski, running the MMA program over there, has given me so many inside little things to help make me the best. David Weintraub for giving me all kinds of diet advice. J.M. Holland, Zach Musclany. I mean, just everybody over there has been great. I can name 300 names. But in Jersey, Guy Mitrione and John Combs, that's enough athletes. I have to say 10 more sponsors, and then I'll let you say bye. Hustle Athletics is doing my gear, fight gear, and they're giving away a bunch of stuff. So look at my page for Hustle Athletics and tag me in all of their posts, like them, share them, and look for free stuff from me. 2300 Arena giving me a full sponsorship, also gearing me up in my corners. Egg Weights, So Right, Slate Milk, Perky Jerky, Punch Gunk, and I have the coffees, those Expedition Coffees. Anyway, I just have so much help and sponsorship and thankful love. I can't even think of them all, and thanks, guys. I'm trying. So sorry that talked so long.
Oh, dude, listen, you know how it is. That's your time for you guys to give them love, because they're the ones that help get you through these camps. They're the one that help get you to the fight. People tend to forget about that that when you guys do this part of not only the interview is just about as much as important for you guys as it is them. So that definitely want to make sure you have time to show some love. And again, I'll tell Brianna I said what's up. I remember Brianna from back when she was fighting the Pink Ranger. People forget about that. The Pink Ranger.
You're gonna see her in my corner. She's my third cornerman, so she will be in there that night if you're watching. She's such a great vibe and person to have in there, so that's why I brought her.
Definitely, and
And
definitely.
extra big thank you for you were in a position that no guest has ever been put in before. You nearly had to carry the show for us. Where Steven was, I had no idea what I was going to do. I was not going to be able to carry the show in that situation, and you stepped up. You're like, "Oh, I've got some things I can talk about."
Exactly.
She was ready to go. I cannot thank her enough because she saved the day.
Zach looked like the other guy from Major League when Bob Uecker passes out drunk.
Yeah. No, I'm happy to help. And you guys have been wonderful, and I hope you have a wonderful rest of your night.
Oh, always a pleasure, my friend. Best of skill. We'll be in touch. Have fun, and keep doing your thing, my friend. We'll have you back on here at some time, and again, hopefully I run into you down there at the arena. You got to let me know when you're working so I can run into you. I work at UPS, so I'm literally right around the corner on Oregon Ave.
Oh, cool. Yeah. Well, if you see a show there, I'm probably going to be there. So we'll talk more about that later.
Definitely. You have a good one. Be safe, my friend. Have a good one.
Thanks for everything. Talk soon.
Always. Have a good one. All right, everyone. That was Brittney Elkin. Big fight coming up for her June 10th. I'm sorry, I was mistaken, fans. It was a co-main event. They should be the main event. Listen, none to gets Sergio Pettis and all that. No, it's Anthony Pettis. I'm sorry. Listen, that Clarissa Shields and Brittney Elkin should be the main event. I'm sorry. But then again, I'm biased when it comes to Brittney. I'm biased when it comes to women's mixed martial arts. But real quick, I have to go back for you for a second because your good friend Mr. Steve P's back.
Yeah, well, I feel like somebody's been saying that on this show for I don't know how long.
And then Jay was popping back in here, and he just wanted to remind you that that's your ceiling. He wanted to remind.
Oh, is that what it is? Yeah, I mean. Yeah, it's a slightly better version of Tyrod Taylor. I think I've said that for over a year now. Okay, I mean, what the hell does that even mean? We were doing player comps. Like, it's called a player comp, my man. That's all it is. So
and we were looking at the body of work he has given us. It's not like we're not trying to overshoot the moons, and they're saying this is.
And I like the kid. See, this is what I hate. People that turn me into a hater. I love everything about the kid. The kid.
You are a hater. You are a hater, just not in this situation.
Okay, well,
last week he's shown who he is a hater to. He does not like Tim Tebow in any way, shape, or form.
That doesn't make me a hater. I said Tim Tebow stinks. Good Lord.
You hated him as a human being. Stop it.
Because he's a piece of shit. Anybody that sits there then claims to be a great Christian and then charges $50,000 to go speak at children's youth church groups is a fucking bad human being.
I didn't want to upset you anymore.
Sit here and hide behind that shit. Like, I'm such a good Christian guy, and then you charge kids church groups $50,000 to come fucking speak at their events. Fuck off. I'm a hater because of that.
Should I let you know that his jersey is now the #1 selling jersey?
Yeah, and what did I say last week? I told you that he's an attention whore. They know what the fuck they're doing here. This is all money, bro. He's gonna.
I was having a conversation about that, and someone was like, "Why are you hating?" I'm like, "Why do I have to hate?" I'm like, "I actually don't have any hate. I don't actually have any like."
It's actually a brilliant move on the part of the Jaguars, right? Because nobody gives a fuck about them anyway. Trevor Lawrence is going to bring them a little bit of extra attention. Now all the media gives a fuck about is the fuck that literally walking Jesus is there, playing tight end number 85 all of a sudden. And, this dude's going to be on the roster through like the summer. He's going to not make the team after fucking preseason. He won't even be on the team week 1, but it's not going to matter because they're going to have sold all these jerseys by then. All this attention's going to be on Jacksonville. It's all going to work perfectly to their advantage, what they wanted when they hired Urban Meyer. And that was to get the national attention that they've been so desperately craving for how long? And what better way to do that? I mean, the Mets why did they think the dude hit a $198 playing minor league baseball, but the Mets fucking let him play minor league baseball for 6 years? When you put asses in the seats, guess what? Things happen. Man. And the dude could have just.
I think you upset
No. Because now you got me going with your stupid little jersey comment. The dude could have just went back to the SEC network and been talking to us about SEC football all fall, which is probably what he's going to end up doing anyway. But instead of doing that, oh, no, that's not relevant enough for Mr. Tebow. Mr. Tebow has got to come back to the NFL after nearly a decade away to play a position he's never fucking played before and try to play us all for a fool again. How many times is this guy going to play people for a fool, Steven? How many?
At least 3. It's 3 now, right?
It's 3. It's exactly. Yeah.
Apparently, Ted is praying for you. Steve wants to know what if he can actually play, though.
Tim Tebow hasn't been good at anything since he played college football at the University of Florida. Okay? Exactly. That's the other thing. Exactly, Daniel. It's a money move. They know he's the hometown kid. It's popular. But the dude stunk as an NFL quarterback. The dude stunk as a minor league baseball player. What the hell makes you think at 35 years old, all of a sudden, the dude's going to be any good as an NFL tight end? The dude ran a 4.8 40 12 years ago. 10 years ago, whatever the fuck you want to call it. No, 12 years ago. That's right. 12 years ago. Whatever what. The dude ran a 4.8 40.
Are we going to talk about Reese's home run, or we want to get? I want to get you off topic here because obviously Tim Tebow is just a trigger button for you.
It's fine. I like being the person. It's not that like I intentionally get worked up about Tebow, Steven, because I'm one of those people that like everybody else, like the media, like it's one of those things. Like even back, like, why is he only like? I don't know why he's all over ESPN now, but even back when he was a shitty NFL quarterback, hell, even after he was done in Denver,
Wait,
and he was
what are
with the
you talking
Jets.
about? Why is he filibustering his? What are you talking about?
I don't even know what the fuck that means.
Exactly, Steve. He's not a tight end.
Yeah, here we are. But you know, I don't. You know, when he went to the Jets, right? And he wasn't even like, we're like, what the hell is this? Like, he can't even. He's not
He's
even
basically
competition to
saying
Mark Sanchez.
your rant is poo. Is basically what Ted's saying.
Because of the media, he never had the chance to improve since coaches didn't want to bring in the media. What do you mean he didn't have the chance to improve? The guy's got a 47% completion percentage at the NFL level. The dude stinks. I don't think dog shit, Ted. I'm not trying to rant. I'm trying to speak facts over here. Nobody's ranting. Okay? The dude stinks. And then people like you and people like Daniel and people like fucking ESPN that won't fucking take the dude off my TV screen.
But here's the thing. But here's the thing. Regardless,
enough with the filibuster. No, enough with liking a guy that sunks donkey balls. Wants to steal a fucking
how about I'll add to that? Enough with letting Tim Tebow of all people trigger you to this point.
No, I'm not triggered by Tim Tebow. I'm triggered by idiots like Tim Tebow's never made me upset. It's the idiots like these guys that want to sit here and act like the dude's worth my damn time and try to sit here and force him down my throat that fucking trigger me. Those are the people that trigger me, Steven.
We get people forced down our throat all the time in boxing and MMA.
Don't act like you're not triggered by it when people force shit down your throat. You know you fucking are. I see you.
Okay, but sometimes you also have to get to the point where you just laugh at it and like, look at this circus over here. Let's watch the train wreck.
Yeah. Did he just call him an H-back? Like, what the fuck are you even talking about?
He's an H-back in the modern NFL. So are we back on these comments?
In 16 career games as a quarterback, Daniel. He's played 16 career games as a quarterback, and he's got a 47% completion percentage. He got replaced because he stunk. See, this is what gets me triggered, Steven. You want me to not be triggered, and I've got idiots like Daniel trying to tell me that the guy was a good NFL quarterback when he had a 47% completion percentage.
Brad, how's it going in circles? You guys are the one that keeps setting him off with Tebow.
Yeah, it's going in circles, and you're over here pressing buttons like we're fucking idiots over here. Don't insult my intelligence, and that's what people do when they try to convince me of this shit.
Did he make the playoffs?
Shit. I'm sorry. Was it the Denver T-Bows or was there a whole fucking like 50 other guys on the football team? The fuck are y'all talking about? He made the playoffs. He didn't do shit. They were winning in spite of him, and he stunk so fucking bad. The guys were laughing at him. He was being laughed at around the fucking league. Give a fuck about his winning record, Daniel. I don't give a fuck. They were a good football team.
That's why I think I am about to cry.
Next year, they really went to the Super Bowl because they were a good football team. Who's in tears, Ted? You? Steven?
I think I am.
Good Lord. Like, Steven, like, you said, am I crazy here? Yeah, because Kyle Orton is literally the worst fucking quarterback in the history of the planet. So they were 1-5. And then Tebow takes over, and like you're talking about, look at all the talent on that football team, dude. The next year Peyton got there, they nearly went to the Super Bowl. They had 13 wins because that was a really good football team.
Oh man,
yeah, I know dick about the modern NFL skill set, Steve. Exactly. He's an H-back, he's an H-back. He's not that. He's not a tight end. He's not an H-back. He's not anything. He's a shitty quarterback that's there because he's an attention whore, and they know he's going to put asses in the seats and make them money for 3 months. That's all it is.
He's not talking about me. Apparently, he's talking about you. He thinks you're going to cry because you're so upset.
I have no idea what this guy's even talking about, but
I don't think you understand. Zach will never get upset to cry about it. I mean, he's going to voice his opinion about it, whether you like it or not. Whether I like it or not. Half the time,
what are you talking about, Ted? What are you even fucking talking about? Go back to your mom's basement and snort another line of coke, you fucking hillbilly. I don't know what the fuck they fucking told you. You'll be fucking going on. No, because now you want to sit here and take it like the guy's just fucking talking out his ass. Look at your fucking mom's basement, piece of shit. Bye-bye. I don't even want people like this fucking tuning into the show because they bring no fucking value to this. None.
This
You
doesn't
know
bring
what value
value.
are? They're entertainment value. That's all they are. They're entertainment value. These two idiots that think they're making sense when they speak, and neither one of them knows a damn. You couldn't slap sense into them. That's how fucking stupid they are.
Payton choked the Tebow stuff in the time. Oh, guys, I love you. I love
Is
you
this real
all.
life, Steven? Like, is this real fucking life? Like, we're literally, I've got two jackwagons on my show, on our platform, trying to fucking sit here and convince me that Tim Tebow was a good NFL quarterback 10 fucking years ago.
I'm not gonna say he was, because obviously, I'm not gonna go.
Steven, you watched him with your eyes when he played in the NFL. Was the guy a good quarterback?
He was a game manager at best.
At best. Yeah, guys that complete less than 50. As a guy that's ever completed less than 50%.
Oh man, here goes this one.
level,
All right, George, just so you know, we started to talk about Tim Tebow. A couple of the guys in here started to weigh their opinions, and Zach is just laying into them, basically.
yeah, I'm going to destroy people that want to fucking say, don't insult my intelligence.
What? All right, listen,
Don't
what does
insult my
having to
intelligence.
ever
I
play
played
football have
Steve.
anything
Yes,
to do?
I have played football. And what the hell? Like, so let me guess, Steve, because you played football, you're going to spin some magic fucking weird, like, conspiracy theory to me about why Tim Tebow was somehow, like, blackballed from the NFL and was such a good football player, yet, it was this big conspiracy theory on part of the NFL, and the Broncos did not let him play anymore, or something stupid, right? I've heard this all before. Thank you, TJ. Anybody with a pair of fucking eyes knows the guy stunk.
No, he just doesn't. No one understanding.
I don't want people that insult my intelligence, Ted. And this has been going on for a decade now. I'm just sick and tired of it. Idiots like you need to go away. Stop watching football if you're going to sit here and try to convince people that actually know what the fuck they're talking about.
The media, you know what I'll say? I'll say this.
Get the fuck off the
I'll say
platform.
this much of this fact: the media has ruined people's freaking thought process of actual critical thinking. That's what the media has done. If you want to ask me,
the problem is y'all pay attention to the fucking media, and you're like, oh, the media won't discriminate. No, the guy just stinks, and the media.
I don't think
the media loves
Zach's
a great fucking money making.
I don't think it was Zach's a whiny little anything. I think he just tells it how he sees it. Again, Ted, we're going to have to go back to the name of the actual show itself. Agree to disagree, and I think that's what we're going to have to do on it. And I agree absolutely with this one. Tebow was an absolute circus ass no matter where he's been. And that's why he was brought there, for the media attention.
Yeah, let's not act like that's not like,
George. It was about D-Jax. We cleared the air with it.
Yeah, like
he's not the greatest. He's top. He's inside the top 5.
It's the media. See, and that's the other thing that bothers me. People like the media, as if like the media circus that's followed Tebow around everywhere he went hasn't been a good one. It's never been negative attention. When has there ever been negative attention on Tim Tebow? He always brings positive attention to your franchise.
Ted's now calling for Broder to make your crying video.
Dude, we can literally look like, can we see me right now? Bro, I've been in the sun all day. I've been smoking weed. I've been drinking beer. Okay, I've been drinking Gatorades and Pepsi, but nobody's over here fucking crying, my man. Okay, we can see me right fucking now. Nobody's fucking crying.
So, Tim, show where these guys coming from today. Ted.
Okay, Ted.
Can you guys play nice? Can you guys play nice today? I think that's a fair assessment.
He has a skill set outside of quarterbacking. Yeah, his skill set is being able to market the hell out of himself to the point where he makes anybody that even like sniffs some money. So yeah, he's marketable, and he makes your organization money, and he brings you extra attention, and he puts asses in the seats and eyes on your product, and that's what it's all about at the end of the day, isn't it?
I agree.
Yeah, the guy's great at marketing, just like he's got the #1 selling jersey on NFLShop.com today. A dude that's not even going to be on the roster week 1.
And Molly's back in the house, and he's absolutely right. It's about money. I don't care what anyone says. You can say what you want.
Here's a guy. See, thank you. I can't. Where have you been, my man?
Good Lord, you took a couple weeks off from following us. I need you back in these conversations.
Now I'll say this one. You want to hold on to that right now? I guarantee you that won't hold past this season, Ted. That won't hold past this season.
Is this my hold on? Is this Coach Dan? Is this my former basketball coach and Doan Academy teacher with like some type of fucking burner account or something? Did Tebow buy my house? I swear to God, it really is. Did he buy my house? Now, Coach Dan, he works in real estate. I'm really starting to think that this is Coach Dan's burner account. Maybe it's Alan. Maybe it's Alan just with a burner account trying to fire me up because he thinks it's entertaining.
No. Do we need to have a burner account to set you up, dude?
Am I going to squirt? That's a really weird question.
I know he keeps asking this one. It's kind of weird. No, but Molly was here last week. I remember that. What do you mean?
Yeah, maybe he did come back. I do remember Molly too.
No, he did take a few weeks off before that. I'll give you that one. You're right. He had been kind of a little MIA right before that.
Yeah, like he was missing in action for a couple weeks, and I need him here to speak sense into these idiots because I can't do it for it takes too much out of me. Can only do it for so long before somebody else needs to wake these people up.
Did it work before?
Steve P, I know for a fact he can't play H-back. Because he couldn't play quarterback. He couldn't play quarterback, and that was his position. How the hell is he going to play H-back, tight end, any position he decides to?
I think we already discussed that earlier already, TJ, in previous shows. We're going to go back to that. It's a good question, Mark. This has been quite interesting towards the end here, watching Zach tearing the Ted here. What is your obsession with trying to see him cry, Ted? I don't get it. He hasn't shown the emotion that he's about to cry. I'm trying to get this obsession.
These dudes are just trolling at this point. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it's like it literally what it's doing, Steven. What pisses me off about it is like this. Like,
I don't know if it's a difference in opinion. I just think if you look at the overall outlook of it, David, I think most people don't think Tim Tebow's a good quarterback. That's why he hasn't been in the NFL.
Now, I was mainly talking about Ted, Daniel. You've actually had some good stuff. I was just busting your balls because you were joining in with trying to insult my intelligence by convincing me that, of something that I've known for a long
way
time.
Too easy to rattle. I don't know if he's easy to rattle. I think certain people just gets under their skin. And it's
I don't like ignorance, Ted. I don't like ignorance. I don't like people. Again, like you're insulting my intelligence. I feel patronized at the moment. I feel like you're patronizing me. You're trying to convince me that this guy is something that I know he isn't.
And that's the part that's the point that Mr. Burr is trying to relay to the people over here.
First of all, how many 33-year-old tight ends and shit? Like, you know what I mean? Like, what the fuck are we even talking about? If he would have switched positions back in 2013, I'd be like, hey, maybe the guy's got a chance. But now it's just a publicity stunt. And anybody that wants to sit here and debate that point with me, I'm sorry, you're a moron. If you don't see that this is a publicity stunt, I don't know what the hell you want from me. But I'm not going to sit here and debate with you whether or not Tim Tebow is still going to be a good quarterback in 2021 when he wasn't a good football player, for that matter, at any position in 2021 when he wasn't a good football player 10 years ago.
Man. All right. Well, I mean, if this is the way you really feel about it, can we just get you on air for a verbal sparring session? I would like to set that one up. That might be fun.
Here's my thing, Steven.
The round-off on the weekly roundup.
What does this do? Like, this is just ridiculous. It's embarrassing to have to sit here and this is what we're doing right now.
Appreciate the love, Daniel, and we do appreciate the feedback, and generally love everyone's feedback, but sometimes people do take it a little bit overboard.
And Daniel, I'm a guy I'm a ball buster too. Like, I'm not like don't take anything I say personal. That's kind of like my motto with everything. I don't take anything anybody else says personally. I don't expect them to take what I say personally. But yeah, I mean, in the moment when you're arguing, things that you think are stupid, yeah, I'm going to call people stupid if I think they're stupid. Don't take offense to it. It is what it is, and fire back with whatever you want. But it's just silly to me at this point. Like it's almost like it's embarrassing. Like it's almost like you lose football credibility when you try to sit there and make an argument like as a professional in this environment.
And Mark's on here right here.
Like it's just.
Look at Zach Ertz, everyone calling him washed and wanting him traded, and yet somehow Tim Tebow's Shannon Sharp with a cane.
That's
a good one.
Yeah, thank you, Mark. Like, see, this again, a guy that's just using logic and being, like he's just trying to use his eyes and like, yeah, this is what it is. The situation is what it is.
I think that's what pisses off Mark. What pisses Zach off more than most is that he's getting all this media attention, and it's really unwarranted. It should be 20 minutes arguing about it's something that we should have talked about for 5 minutes and moved on, but we're still hearing about it and hearing about it.
And I'm trying to watch.
Okay, if you're having to try to have an intellectual conversation, why do we keep having to go back to these same conversations, Steve? You're
not having an intelligent football combo, Steve. You're over here trying to convince people that Tim Tebow is somehow going to right there. It's not intelligent. Like there's nothing intelligent about anybody trying to sit there and and push this idea that Tim Tebow is anything more than what he is at this point, which is he's a publicity stunt.
I don't think you're about to see a host lose it on air. I think you're overestimating your assessment on the situation there, Ted. So
I did the fact that that's just like I don't even care that like Daniel, like you're cool, like it's whatever, like we're just going back and forth. It's like it's kind of fun to me, but this dude that's over here obsessed with seeing me cry and shit is just like it's just weird. Like, and this is like it just like we're supposed to be trying to entertain people and put on a show, and I'm over here arguing with idiots about Tim Tebow. Like it's I'm just it's what are we doing? Is this amateur hour on A2D radio? Is that what this is?
It's not. He's not even. He's calling you stupid because your takes on it are stupid. I mean, I don't necessarily disagree how you guys are at ends of it. He doesn't think he's a good quarterback in any way, shape, or form. On top of the fact that he doesn't think he's a good person, and yet we're still
talk about that. Like, and that's fine. Like, people want to think he's a good person. Okay, that's fine. That's my personal opinion.
We're not trading Zach Ertz for Jordan Hicks. We went over this last week, Jet. It's not happening. Yeah, it's not happening.
But whether Tim Tebow's a good person or not is irrelevant. We're just talking about Tim Tebow, the football player.
I'm pretty sure.
Steve, go ahead, Stephen. Thank you, because I've proven myself plenty of times on this show. I know I can break down football with the best of them, Steve. Okay, there's
all right. Like, I mean, if y'all really want to keep testing Zach, we can arrange for these versus battles to happen, and I'll let Zach do his thing, and we'll give you guys time to do your thing if that's what you really want to do. So
maybe if I understood the game better, we could have a debate.
Oh, he's taking blows. He's taking blows.
Yeah, this has got to be somebody that I know. It's got to be like it really does. It's got to be somebody that's like I went to school with or something. I'm not buying this.
But
Frank Vespi won't cry. I don't think you know Frank that well.
I think that's our point, TJ, is that this is what Tebow does, and we all knew what this was.
Yeah, and I'm not knocking the guy. Like, it all makes sense for Jacksonville. Yeah, I'm with you, Jay. I'll bet money on it. I guarantee you he's not going to be on the final 53-man roster. There's no fucking chance. And I think what Urban Meyer said yesterday even like shows you that. Urban Meyer says we like to have 7 tight ends on the roster. Right now we only have 4. So Tim gives us 5. We still want to add 2 more. Like literally, like all like that there, that comment right there. If they honestly thought Tim was going to have any chance of making the roster, he'd come out and be like, no, like we legitimately think this guy is going to be a good football player. He can make transition to that position at the NFL level, and we're going to find a way to work him into the offense.
Listen, Mark, it's the circus. We're here for the circus, and that's what's going on.
Yeah, it's great. Exactly, Mark. Exactly. That's the other crazy thing about it. But that's good for Jacksonville, right? People want to like, oh, well, look at the media attention, it's a circus. Yeah, That's what Jacksonville wants.
Shorty Garbrant font's about to go on, so that's definitely some fun stuff there. Appreciate the update there, Daniel. Unfortunately, I haven't gotten a chance to get around to much of the UFC stuff tonight because we've been talking about a lot of stuff tonight.
Yeah, he is, Jay. Isn't that crazy that Tebow gets more talk than Trevor Lawrence? ESPN is fucking showing. Like, when was the last time Jacksonville had ESPN and the NFL Network at their fucking door of their complex? Of the Jaguars complex every single day like this.
Mark saying Steve Peace the ghost of John Madden. Yo, stop it. You ghost of John Madden. Man.
Oh my God, Steven. Like, it's
okay, but even if he isn't, like they offered that he wouldn't do this, not even.
First of all, when did I say he was playing QB? I didn't. I said he's not a good QB. He's not a good football player, and he's not a good person. That was my word. He's not good at any of them. The only thing he's good at is marketing himself to the point where he makes whoever touches him, he makes them money. Whoever surrounds themselves with Tim Tebow, he makes them money.
And we're going to go right back to this, Steve. Again, what does that have relevancy to actual football IQ? A big fat 0. Thank you.
Yeah, I mean, it's such a stupid argument, but I have played football. So, like, I've actually played contact football, full pads, yes, organized contact football, full pads, the whole 9. So this idea that I haven't played football
is start period.
It's also a stupid argument.
Molly, I don't think he's going to be on the roster when the season starts.
I'm with you, Molly Mall. I hate even saying that because you're a Cowboys fan, but I'm with you there. Yeah, see, now that's a very, like, Daniel, like, that's a solid take there, in my opinion. You know what I mean? Like,
this is what I talked about. This is the other side of that. Ooh, let's watch the train wreck.
Yeah, people like that too, right? Like, but I think for Jacksonville, it's like a win-win situation. Like, there's no such thing as bad press if you're the Jacksonville Jaguars. You've got ESPN at your building every single day. You don't care why. All you care is that they're there. Because for the first time in ever, like literally ever in the history of your organization, you've got the attention of a top organization.
Okay, wait a minute.
Or an organization that's getting treated.
First off, this conversation hasn't even been going on for about 20 minutes that we've been on this topic. So an hour. And
we literally base what we're talking about off the comments from the people. Like, it's literally a show for the people. We let them comment, and then we piggyback off of what the people are talking about. If I didn't have a whole group of people in my chat room right now talking about Tim Tebow for the last 20 minutes, we wouldn't have been doing it. But here we are. You think I want to talk about Tim Tebow for a half hour? Really? I would love to talk about this shitty Phillies baseball team more than I'd like to talk about Tim Tebow, and I don't even want to talk about them.
Well, we already know we're getting that first round pick. It don't matter, regardless of how many snaps he takes. They're one of the teams that'll probably be playing, the AFC divisional or conference championship game. You say what you want about that team. Tebow wouldn't know what to do. Tebow wouldn't know what to do if he stole his check. Tebow wouldn't know what to do if he stole Zach's checks. Ted, come on. You got to come up with something better than that.
Tim Tebow couldn't date my girlfriend because it's against his religious beliefs, okay? I date a black girl. So Tim Tebow wouldn't be able to do that because,
He actually...
I don't know what happened to Steven again, so maybe I'll have to carry the show here for a minute or two. But yes, since we want to get technical with all that. I'm not going to snap, TJ. I mean, that already happened, I guess, but, Unfortunately, Steven is frozen again on me, and it looks like I'm carrying the show solo at the moment. Let's go back to the NBA playoffs and give, some live updates on what's going on in the NBA playoffs, and maybe nobody will, bring up Tim Tebow anymore in my stupid comment section. By the way, the Phillies have runners on first and second. Nobody out here in the bottom of the 7th trying to make a rally. McCutchen at the plate. So maybe we'll keep it here. Hell with the NBA playoffs at the moment. It's just me until Steven comes back. So, but yeah, somebody brought up Frank Vespi earlier. There's a reason Frank's my boy. You're not going to hear me say anything bad about Frank, as far as the sense of, me disagreeing with anything you were saying about him. So I don't, I'm not real sure what the whole point of bringing Frank Vespi into this conversation was, unless I somehow know who you are, Ted, and you happen to know who both of us are, and went to school with us or have like a past background with us or something. So that's why I'm just a little suspicious of Ted's account here. McCutcheon strikes out for the first out of the 7th. So Bryce is going to come up here with a chance to do some damage, and he needs to do some fucking damage. Good way to snap out of his funk. Kevin Durant going off for Brooklyn in the NBA playoffs against Boston, so I guess none of us should be surprised about that, right? This has been fun. I'm actually glad this happened now. I'm glad Ted thinks I'm about to cry, and I'm glad I triggered so many people to the point where I've become their entertainment for the night. We're always a show of the people here on A2D Radio, no matter what. Even when I'm yelling and cursing and telling people they're idiots. Ooh, Segura got hit by a pitch. Let's go. Harper's going to come up with the bases loaded. Do damage time. Where's Steven at? I need Steven back so that we can watch Bryce Harper's at bat together. Or else I'm going to have to end the show by myself, and I'm not sure if I'm going to be able to do that. I can't just end, I can't sign off without Steven here. We're not going to end it here. We got to get to 2 hours. We're going to see the live Phillies update with Harper. Hopefully we'll get to see his at-bat, and then we'll go off the air. Maybe give us something positive to go off the air on. I'm getting a bunch of text messages from everybody involved with the show now, and Steven's lost internet, so Steven can't come back. So it looks like I'm going to have to fly solo the rest of the show. All right, well, I guess on that note, it is best for me to sign off. Steven isn't going to come back, so I'll sign off for Steven. Steven Reichel, I'm Zach Burr. It's been the weekly roundup on A2D Radio. It's always brought to you by eXp Realty. Make sure you hit up eXp Realty and contact my man, Alan J. Foy. He's the best in the business at what he does. We try to be the best in the business here at A2D Radio. For Zach Burr, Steven Reichel. Oh, there he is. I was almost about to sign out, and there he is. Look.
Yeah, well, this is what happened. Literally, the whole internet just reset in my whole house. No one touched anything. No one did anything.
I'm going to stay on, Steven, and watch Bryce Harper's at bat with the bases loaded.
Yeah, sure. Let's stay on for some more technical difficulties brought to you by Steven Rochelle.
Hey, at least listen, nothing. I already cursed out a couple people and told them to leave the platform and everything else. I mean, I had a guy tell me to suck his dick and is obsessed with me crying. So, it's at this point, Steven, it went off the rails a long time ago. I don't really think it matters.
Yeah, the towards the end, it came off the rails, but
Xander, yes, we did.
Yes, we did cover DeSean Jackson the first hour. We kind of covered that, debated on it, discussed how we came about to the topic. But
come on, Bryce, do damage time. Bases loaded. This would be a time to
all right, well,
get some haters off your back, right?
I'm beyond irritated at this point, but that's part of life. Oh,
It's all good, Steven. That's why we're perfect together. We got each other's backs at all times.
This is just too much today. Listen, but Xander, what we were talking about, like, listen, we do not discredit the fact that he did amazing things for us, made some amazing memories for us. What we were talking about is people having the discussion on the simple fact that he was the greatest deep threat in NFL history. As much as I love DeSean, as much as I love what he did for this team, he is not that. He would have to do this for another 5 years for us to really kind of consider him in that ilk, because he just lost too much time and for the better part of his career is just that. So, I mean, what are you going to do?
Yeah, I mean, it's...
Oh, man, I guess they must have been trolling you while we were gone because, whew.
Hey, Ted, the most offensive thing you've said this entire time was the fact that Frank Vespi has more charisma than me. I take that as a huge insult. Now I really am about to cry.
Yo, Ted, man, you gotta come on. We gotta let you find out, one, who you are, and two,
you're the only one still talking about him. How did I go in circles when you're still talking about him? Bryce just struck out on 3 pitches. That was a fucking terrible at bat.
Absolutely, you're dead on right there, right there, Alexander. It is absolutely that one Randy Moss. I'd like to find a reason not to say it. Another one of those guys, I remember back in his days in Marshall, man. I wanted to see him here. Is one of these guys that you just hope that they would find their way into our laps, and we would just never pull the trigger on these guys. Well, if I remember correctly, it was just all they were worried about his off the field issues. If I remember correctly, that's why they were staying.
Oh, he hit him.
Yeah.
Wow, he hit Reese with the bases loaded.
Doom, doom, doom. They're coming back in this one now. Look at this. I agree. Outside of he
disappeared in a ton of games.
But that's what we're. But that goes right back to what we were saying. Like I kind of feel DeSean had unfulfilled potential here, and I feel like a lot of players have done that. Not just the Phillies. Like, dude, we can go down a laundry list of Phillies, Flyers, Sixers who just an unfulfilled potential. This is what this city has been about for the past decade, if not longer.
Yeah,
we went over this one. Kind of felt like it was Randy, Megatron, T.O., DeSean Jackson, Lance Allworth. I think Jerry Rice is probably like 6 or 7. Not just destroyed him, like his didn't destroy D-Jax. It made him a different person, and just like, listen, you couldn't count on him. And if he's not available, a guy you count on, you can't call somebody the greatest deep threat in the NFL history. He's going back to one of the more exciting guys that we've seen play in this city and in this sport in the past 10 years. One of, not. I think you lost me at the greatest.
Yes. Yeah, he could be in that conversation of top 3, top 5, all that. But come on, Brad. But there's a lot of guys that
we're gonna give this to this last out, and then I guess
good or better.
We'll pull this one out of here. Prism caught on at the end. Yeah, because we went a little over. We went a little over this time, Mr. Prism. So appreciate the love as always, my friend. One of our few regulars here on A2D Radio.
Oh wow, they got away with it. That was strike 3.
Yeah, that is on the corner. Look at that.
This is all corner. You're painting. It's such a perfect pitch. Yeah, that's a good pitch. Man, how do you call that a ball?
Come on, Brad, take advantage of it.
Ted, I got some things I could say negatively about that man, but no, it's not a best DeSean time. This wasn't here to rip him apart. Listen, he did some great things for us in the city, and anyone who wants to try to take that away from him, please stop.
No, but yeah, I mean, it's
Listen,
I don't think any of us
about
ever
what he was on the field, his legacy as his accomplishments on the field. I'm not gonna sit here and tear every man or woman apart about things they do outside of what they're doing on a professional basis. I still think that we hold some of these people too highly, and you want them to be like freaking popes or something. Like, I don't get it. I don't.
We all kind of knew DeSean was
a Hall of Famer, an Eagles Hall of Famer.
Yeah.
It's nothing. I love DeSean, dude. I just can't. Like, listen, we hold ourselves to a standard, and if we're moving that standard, I don't know if you can sit there and continue to say it's the Hall of Fame.
Yeah, he's not.
Should we have another enshrinement outside of the Hall of Fame? I actually do think so.
Yeah,
to
me, that's crazy.
Yeah, Ted, like the channel. What's up with that?
To even think that he was a Hall of Famer, it's just like people that even there's people that actually even think he's close to a Hall of Famer. That's a little bit crazy to me.
Y'all see Fury and Wilder just got to the third fight. Yeah, an arbitrator had to make that fight happen. So you're gonna wonder how irritated the Gypsy King's gonna be, but we'll see about that.
Remember when Phillies games used to come on Prism and you used to be able to watch softcore porn afterwards? Oh, the 80s.
No, remember the great sports debate? What was it, like Al Morganti, Angelo Cataldi? Mikey missed before he was a real weirdo.
Mikey missed before he was Mikey Miss.
Oh man.
But nothing with Angelo Cataldi in it should be called the Great Anything. Okay, let's just start with that.
That's where the Weasel of the Week started, man.
The Weasel of the Week. Angelo was the Weasel of the Week more weeks than not.
He's the Weasel of the century, is he not? At least in Philadelphia, it's a tie between him and Eskin as the sports media Weasel of the decade.
They're the Bert and Ernie of Philadelphia sports media.
Harry Decay, absolutely, brother, absolutely. Tommy hopping in with the screen. Obviously, man, if we're talking Prism and we're talking Prism Sports, the great sports debate has to be brought up. It has to be. Am I right? Come on. And over here, you're not even saying it because I'm right. I mean, obviously, you would argue with the merits of the show or in the host and stuff like that. But that was sports talk for us back in them days.
Yeah, that's what you guys had. It's almost scary that's what you guys had to grow up on. Angelo Cataldi. Oh my God. Angelo Cataldi, Howard Eskin.
And then you wonder why we're here, brother. we deserve a better brand of radio.
I mean, technically, I guess I grew up on the same shit, so it's not like I didn't listen to Angelo Cataldi growing up. But it's I guess I just tried to not take anything he ever said seriously, and it's almost like you guys had no choice but to take his shit seriously back in the day.
Is Jose Canseco the biggest sports weasel ever? No,
that's Tim Tebow.
We're never gonna get past this, I swear to God.
Somebody give me a jump set.
DJ with the comment of the night, the 610 WIP with the static.
Yeah.
Oh my God, taking it back. All right, let's put a bow on this one. Really appreciate everyone tuning in. Even the trolls egging on Mr. Burr, trying to get out his his negative energy. He already had something to unleash on y'all. Y'all just kept pushing the button. Y'all couldn't leave
I
him alone.
umpired 5 13U baseball games today. 5, okay? If you think I wasn't in the mood to get up in somebody's ass and fucking like light a fire on them and just lay into somebody, you obviously haven't been around youth baseball.
All right. Well, this was a fun one. Appreciate all the love, even Ted, Dave, everyone hopping in here in the chat. We'll have another fun one lined up for you. We'll have an actual, not impromptu interview, but Calvin Hot Salt Henderson's going to be joining us. Won't be backstage this time. Getting ready to box. We'll be able to kind of get a little bit more fun on them. Gonna have some fun with the Texas boy. We know what it is. We're gonna talk some fight game. Obviously, we're gonna talk about his beloved boys. We'll have some fun with everyone in the chat here. Oh my God, he's just not gonna. Ted, dude, you need to let us know who you are, bro. Come on, because that's taking it too far. Zach
No,
is
Ted, I was poking fun at his Christian beliefs and the fact that he's a crazy Christian and things like interracial relationships and things like that are kind of frowned upon. I was poking fun at it, Ted. Keep up here.
Man. All right. Again, appreciate Brittney time this afternoon, and really wish her the best of skill. Really awesome to see watch her from an amateur. Again, strong jiu-jitsu background. Come out here to the East Coast from Colorado. I don't know what it is. What is up with this? We just had Pearl on recently. She was a Midwest girl. Another one out here to the East Coast. I'm telling you, the upper Northeast quadrant is a hotbed for combat sports, boxing, MMA, anything in between. If y'all know, you should know by now, especially listening to my stupid ass. Appreciate everyone's time tonight. Sorry for the technical difficulties. I'm going to have to freaking see what's going on with my internet. This is ridiculous. Other than that, I'm Steve. He's Zach. We'll see you guys next week. Same time, same place. Peace out, my fam. Have fun.